Hi, welcome back for more interferometers. We have already seen that when we put two partially reflecting far surfaces parallel to each other, we can obtain an interference pattern. Charles Fabry and Alfred Perot designed this interferometer in 1899. They created this optical cavity also known as Etalon. For this cavity, consider two quartz plates where the inner surfaces are partially coated with silver, which is highly reflective in the visible. Being partially coated means that light will be reflected but also transmitted. To avoid spurious reflections from the outer surfaces, we make them slightly tilted. Usually you want the length of the cavity variable, so you can fix one of the plates but allow the other to move. Consider light coming from a point out of the etalon. This can be a point source of light such as a laser, or it can be an extended source of light. A ray of light coming from this point will enter the cavity. Part of the ray will leave the cavity, but part will be reflected. And reflected again, and part will be leaving and part will be reflected again. Light rays leaving the etalon will be parallel. Then you can put a collimating lens to bring all those rays to a point on the screen or a detector. Depending on the path difference, you will have constructive or destructive interference, and you will have an interference pattern. As we found in this previous lesson, the path difference between the outgoing rays is given by delta S equal to 2m prime d cosine of theta, where n is the index of refraction of the inside of the etalon, in this case air, so we will consider it to be 1. And theta is the angle that rays of light make inside the etalon. This leaves us with a condition from bright fringes of m lambda equal to 2d sine of theta. The interference pattern will, again, be a set of concentric rings, just as in the case of Newton's rings or in the Michelson interferometer. If you set the source of light parallel to the optical axis of the cavity, then the cosine of theta is 1, then m lambda is 2d. And the phase that allows this is 2 pi over lambda times the path difference delta S. Delta delta equal to 2 pi m. So the maximum interference will happen when the distance between the two plates is d sub m equal to m lambda over 2. We define the distance or difference between two consecutive maxima as the free spectral range, d sub fsr as equal to d sub m plus 1 minus d sub m, equal to lambda over 2. So we can determine the wavelength of the light source by measuring the distance that we need to move one of the plates from one maximum to the next one. Of course, if your experimental equipment does not have this high resolution to observe one single shot change, you can always scan and observe several fringes changes and use that to obtain the wavelength. But this can also be used to distinguish between two nearby wavelengths in the light source, which can also be used to calibrate an unknown wavelength by using a known one as a reference. For example, assume we have two very near wavelengths, lambda 1 and lambda 2. We send them to the Fabry-Perot interferometer. We know that lambda 1 is equal to 2d1 over m, and lambda 2 is equal to 2d2 over m. So delta lambda is 2 over m delta d equal to 2 over 2 d1 over lambda 1 times delta d. So delta lambda over lambda 1 equal to delta d d1 May science be with you.